Hello everyone, Wolfie of Mistforge here, and as more and more people are starting to play Gigantic regularly, I wanted to make something to assist players who might be struggling against a certain hero for whatever reason. Even though most heroes in Gigantic are very strong, there are a number of tactics you can use to counter them mechanically. Let's get right into it. All of Ashen's abilities and power are directly tied to Khador. If Khador suffers more damage, Ashen's abilities go on longer cooldowns when she finally recalls him. If you force her to recall him or just outright kill him, you can use that as a window to attack her when she's most vulnerable. Beckett's jetpack gives her a big advantage, but it could also be considered her biggest downfall with such a long cooldown. If possible, burst her to force an early jetpack and then your friendly melee heroes can trail to where she'll land and proceed to apply jump attack cripples so she can't move. A big chunk of Charnok's damage comes from damage over time burns. This can be avoided by keeping your distance and by receiving a cleanse from your friendly neighborhood support hero. Griselma does almost nothing without her portal beast. If you're struggling to invade a certain point, consider going for a different objective so that she's forced to abandon her post and move her hand somewhere else, since it'll take a little time for her to set up. HK boasts the most health and armor out of all the ranged heroes in the game, but you can actually exploit this fact. Since out of combat health regeneration is the same for every hero, you can damage HK heavily and know he'll be out of the fight for a while as he waits for his health to reach a safer level. Range is Imani's specialty, but she struggles at melee combat because she will never out DPS anybody with auto bolts. Stay right up in her face and force her to run. This way you know that she's not using your backline for target practice. Despite having a speed boost and a great cap closer, Nasus can still sometimes struggle to stick to targets when hindered. Slows, pushes, dazes, and stuns are all things a Nasus player hates the most. Margrave suffers from having some of the longest base cooldowns in the game. If you keep your distance and force him out of stamina and to use his charge and leap spells, he's basically committed to something that he can't escape from. Unload everything you have at that point. Mozu does a lot of damage, but she's also the squishiest thing on the planet. Get some ranged heroes to damage her to about half health or lower, then rush in with a full burst combo and some bonus CC for good measure. Pakko has a lot of upgrade interactions that deal with his omnipresent freeze debuff. A lot of his abilities can be avoided with a properly timed dodge, and that way he won't gain all the benefits from you being frozen. Ramsey has a lot of trouble with range heroes because he's too reliant on dodges. Do everything you can to keep your distance and to keep him in combat. That way his stamina will be drained quickly and he won't be able to be quite as evasive. All of Sven's abilities require him to aim and also serve a very specific purpose. Moving erratically and paying attention to which abilities he's spent can give you opportunities to move in since you know his arsenal has been lessened. Trip is not always able to hide even while stealthed. Applying some damage over time effects before she pops Flash Dance can allow you to easily trace her down while she's running for her life. Taito moves very quickly, but that doesn't mean he can't be hit. His low health and defenses can force him out of a fight quickly if he's focused because he knows he cannot suffer too much damage or get caught by hard crowd control. Vadasi is hands down the most efficient healer in the game, but you can counter this with Poison. Poison reduces incoming healing by at least 50%, and this is really effective with Vadasi since she does not have a direct cleanse like other support heroes. If you're struggling with Voden's clone ability, learn to distinguish the clone's patterns. An untalented green man will always walk and fire uncharged shots, while a companion's boon green man will alternate between firing charged shots and dodging. Wu's Tongue Lash defines his role as a hero. Always expect the pull if a Wu is looking at you and react by dodging to the left or right. If you get pulled anyway, you can avoid the rest of his combo by immediately dodging directly through him. Zenobia will thrive on finding you away from the rest of your team. Instead of trying to fight her in a 1 vs 1, stick with your teammates and run her down before she can start clipping anybody. Zandora has no form of hard crowd control aside from a jump attack cripple. Keep your distance and peel to exploit the fact that she has no ranged attack and a relatively low health pool. And there you go, a counter for every hero. Now the best way to go about this is to learn what your favorite hero is capable of doing and gauge the enemy team so that you won't be taken by surprise. If these tips help you make your games a little bit easier, be sure to come back and give this video a like. And subscribe to the channel if you like what we do here at Mistforge. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and we'll see you on the airship.